Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm with Jump Mom as usual.
As usual, welcome back, guys.
So today we will be watching Geography Now. Philippines!
Yay!
Because we are from the Philippines. And this reaction is mostly requested by one of our friend, a YouTuber friend from the Philippines also, Mick Hernandez. This is your request.
Shout out,
Hi,
Mick.
Shout out. We miss you. Okay, guys. So, umpisa na natin to.
Let's start
Let's
watching
start
the
watching
video.
the video, guys. Come on, all over the world.
So you will be able to learn
About
about
Philippines. Let's go, guys. Join us.
You don't know anything about Asia. The Philippines is like the jolliest of them all. They're just
It's true.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
it's true. The jolliest of them all. Even if we have problems like, we don't have the house, we don't have the food, we can still laugh.
We don't have the money.
We don't have the money. Yeah, that's right. We don't have the house, the food, because we don't have the money to buy for it. But we still
You
find
can see always smiles on the faces.
our faces. So that's why we are jealous of them all.
happy, fun, jolly people. And
You know what?
Oh,
It's been 3 years. I'm not taking this anymore. I've been pushed around, I've been threatened, I've been thrown in the dungeon,
Oh.
I've been the butt of all the jokes. I'm the Filipino one. This is my time.
My time!
Ah!
to explode.
Oh,
Welcome
nice editing.
to the
Nice
Philippines.
editing, ah.
My turn.
okay.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everyone, I'm Ken.
You know, Mick, it's good that you requested this video because we will be refreshed on this video, right?
Yes,
Regarding our
exactly.
Philippine history.
And as you know, I'm half Filipino. Years ago, I was looking for a job and I saw this ad asking for a motion graphics animator on Craigslist. Paul and I literally met up at a Jollibee for my interview. He said I was his top 3 candidates.
In reality, there were only 3 candidates that applied, so technically I didn't lie, but yeah, the other 2 people kind of sucked, so yeah.
Oh, and back then, I had this weird mustache and Paul's hair was basically this thing.
Ken and I have been talking for a long time, and we agreed Ken definitely has to be in this episode. You've come so far from that Craigslist Jollibee interview, you've earned this.
Thanks. Handa na? Magsimula.
Handa na? Magsimula.
The Philippines is an interesting country because there's sort of a dichotomy between labels. If you ask a Filipino if they consider themselves Asian or Pacific Islanders, you might get contrasting answers.
What do you consider yourself, Ken?
I always thought Pacific Islanders sounded kind of cool, so I usually stuck with that. So first of all,
The Philippines is a tropical archipelago of over 7,000 islands, about 2,000 of which are inhabited, and it is the largest island nation without any land borders or shared island territory with another nation.
the country is located in Southeast Asia, straddling the Philippine Sea in the north, the South China Sea in the west, and the Sulu and Celebes Sea in the south.
Just a skip away lies the island of Borneo, which is split amongst 3 nations, at the closest point only about 22 miles or 40 kilometers away from the nearest island that belongs to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Now, in general, many people will refer to one of the 3 main island cluster regions that people are a part of. There are Luzon in the north, where you can find the capital Manila and where the half of the population lives, Visaya in the center, and Mindanao in the south.
Otherwise, the nation is made
And we are from Luzon.
Luzon.
Yeah.
Palawan is part
Yeah.
of Luzon. We are
from Palawan.
up of 17 regions, one of which is autonomous, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. This place has a high level of self-rule and autonomy appointed by the government. We'll explain more about this later.
If you want to be absolutely technical, Quezon City, a bit north of Manila, is the largest city in the Philippines. However, the surrounding 16
We used to live there in Quezon City.
yeah.
Yeah.
towns and cities by Manila are called Manila Metro, or the National Capital Region, and they basically act as one unit.
Otherwise, the largest city outside of the NCR are Davao City in Mindanao and Cebu in the Visayas.
Manila has the largest and busiest airport. Ninoy
Okay. I want to go there to Davao City and Cebu City.
Yeah, Davao we haven't visited yet.
Okay, but you visited
Cebu, yes.
Yeah. Sana all.
Aquino International Airport, which is basically the hub that services the entire NCR. They also have the busiest shipping port at the Port of Manila.
Otherwise, the second largest airport is Cebu Mactan International, and rounding out for third place is Davao City Francisco Bangoy International.
In terms of land transport, though, the Philippines is well connected amongst the islands. In fact, the longest highway is the Pan-Philippine Highway that stretches about 3,500 kilometers across the country and connects Luzon, Samar, Liet, and Mindanao with underground tunnels connecting them.
Finally, the Philippines has only two territorial disputes. The state
May underground pala. No?
I don't know.
Now we know.
Thank you.
of Sabah in Malaysia on North Borneo. The territory once had been part of the Sultanate of Sulu, a Muslim state that existed the 15th century to the 20th century, and that's a whole other story.
As for the others dispute, as we mentioned quite a few times already, this whole area known as the Spratly Islands is a complete mess. If you don't know anything about this place,
Oh, this one, this Spratly Island. What do you call this one? The
What?
controversial Spratly Island.
Yes, because some islands belongs
To China.
China, some belongs to Philippines.
Yeah.
It's really controversial.
Yes.
it basically goes like this.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. This is the map showing what everyone claims in the area. This big one right here is China's. Like, yeah, they just kind of pretty much went for all of it.
This has even led to a few skirmishes between nations that have built patrol stations on the island. And when they spot a ship that gets too close, things can get kind of ugly.
It's kind of like this.
Hey, what are you doing? This is my area.
I'm just doing some fishing and research here, you know?
Why do you have a shovel then? Are you building something? Or?
Well, technically there's no land protruding from this reef, so there's no land claim.
So you're just gonna build your own land.
For research.
Anyway, here are some notable spots of interest.
Fort Santiago,
Magellan's Cross,
San Agustin Church,
Sagada Hanging Coffins,
This one,
Aguilando Shrine.
Sagada hanging coffins. What
Where is that? In
I don't know. Not familiar.
this one we went to Cebu Taoist temple.
Temple.
We went there.
Ah.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful there.
Cebu's Philippine Taoist Temple,
Shrine of Mama Mary in Tagaytay,
the Lapu-Lapu Shrine,
Luneta Park,
MacArthur Landing Site,
Bunawi Rice Terraces.
the Malacanang Palace,
Vigan has many historical and colonial buildings.
the various national museums of
Maybe you will go there to vegan.
Hopefully.
history and arts.
Tons of amusement parks.
And that's not even including all the natural wonders of the Philippines. They have an underground river.
The most
Hey, Puerto Princesa! We are from Puerto Princesa, Palawan! The underground river, that is one of the
Seven wonders of the world.
world, guys.
You should come and
you should
visit.
come and visit there, guys.
amazing, beautiful beaches in the universe.
Hills that look like lumps of chocolate.
And there's an island in a lake, in an island, in a lake, in an island.
We should hang out sometime.
Yeah, when you have 7,000 tropical islands on a volcanic archipelago, chances are things can get pretty crazy landscape-wise. Which brings us to... The actual physical land of the Philippines is the biggest treasure you will find here for sure. Anyway, the Philippines lies on the Ring of Fire and is specifically on a tectonic plate named after them, the Philippine Plate.
And about 95% of the land is made up of the 11 largest islands.
The country was essentially formed through the tectonic activity between the Philippine, Manila, and the Mindanao Trenches, the Mindanao being the second deepest in the world.
This makes the country susceptible to small earthquakes and minor volcanic activity.
About 53 active volcanoes can be found in all of these largest islands, except for Palawan. The most famous and picturesque
Except for Palawan, we don't have volcano, so we are safe.
of these include these three.
See this island here, Camiguin? It actually has more volcanoes than towns on it. 7 versus 5, making it the place with the most number of volcanoes per square kilometer in the world.
In fact, the tallest peak in the Philippines is a potentially active volcano, Mount Apo, located in the South Mindanao area.
The country has numerous mountain ranges and highlands that dip into the fertile valleys, the largest range being the Cordillera Range in the North Luzon area, hooking into the Sierra Madre Range on the east side, which feeds the longest river of the country, the Cagayan, that flows into the Cagayan Valley.
This valley, along with the Central Luzon Valley, are the largest arable croplands and produce nearly all of the rice in the Philippines.
The Visayas are known for growing the most sugarcane, whereas Mindanao specializes heavy in coconut and fruit production.
The most known for sugarcane.
And Mindanao is for bananas and coconut.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
the sugarcane. Before, when we were younger, we used to eat this one. Huh?
We'll just
It's
cut from the ground,
and then we will peel it off, and then Eat it.
Back in Luzon, though, you can find the largest lake in the country, Lake Laguna Dabay, which is actually in the caldera of a dormant volcano.
The lake has a weird detached island called Talim and is actually drained by the Pasig River that flows through the capital, Manila.
And finally, the country is the heart of typhoon territory. They can come at almost any time of the year. The nation will...
That's the sad
Oh
part.
my God, we are really
What is this?
the heart of typhoon.
The heart of typhoon.
Yeah. We just
Because that side is Pacific Ocean.
yeah. The what do you call this one? Odette typhoon just passed by
Recent one. Last December.
last December.
experience on average about 20 of the turbulent storms annually, which often flood to their many river systems.
20.
But yeah, if anything, Filipinos are the most cyclone-adapted people on Earth. They're used to it. The water is...
Cyclone? What you said?
Again.
Okay. Yeah.
And is actually drained by the Pasig River that flows through the capital, Manila.
And finally, the country is the heart of typhoon territory. They can come at almost any time of the year. The nation will experience on average about 20 of the turbulent storms annually, which often flood to their many river systems. But yeah, if anything, Filipinos are the most cyclone-adapted people on Earth. They're used to it. The water has always been...
Oh,
What?
again.
Hey, you asked the backside Arki. He knows that.
It's the heart of typhoon territory. They can come at almost any time of the year. The nation will experience on average about 20 of the turbulent storms annually, which often flood to their many river systems. But yeah, if anything, Filipinos are the most cyclone-adapted people on Earth.
Cyclone. What is that?
Did you hear that, Arky? What is that?
Cyclone
Cyclone-adapted people.
What he mean by that? Cyclone adapted people.
Cyclone, the word cyclone is the bagyo.
The bagyo.
Okay.
Okay.
Nakapag-adopt na yung mga tao sa bagyo.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Makapag-adjust na.
We are adaptable to typhoon.
Because we have
We
a
have-
minimum of 20 typhoons
In a year?
in a year.
Yeah, so that's why, you know. So it's
We-
amazing for Filipinos. Like,
That's one of our amazing traits.
traits,
We
yeah.
adapt to the cyclone.
Earth. They're used to it. The water has always been kind of their thing. Swimming, sailing, fishing.
Just
Yeah.
not exactly quite diving into it.
Otherwise, the Philippines is one of the 17 mega-diverse nations on Earth.
They actually have the largest level of marine biodiversity in the world within their waters and the highest rate of animal discovery on the planet, with 16 new mammal species that were
Look at
discovered in the
that
past
mammal
decade
species, so
alone.
cute.
They have everything from
The longest snake in the world, the reticulated python.
the largest fish in the world, whale sharks.
7 of the 8 known species of giant clam are found in the Philippines.
The world's smallest hoofed animal, the Philippine mouse deer.
And their national bird is the largest eagle in the world.
Economically speaking,
That is our national bird.
Yes.
the Philippines is considered a newly industrialized nation. It is transitioning out of becoming an agricultural-based system to a service and manufacturing-based one. They have like 3 of the top 10 largest malls on Earth.
Yes,
Ooh,
and-
just you wait. I'm taking the top spot soon.
Oh, Iran. That's Iran, right?
One of the fastest growing economies in Asia, and as the 34th largest economy in the world, their GDP purchasing power parity has surpassed the $2 trillion mark.
Basically, the Philippines is definitely becoming a key power player in the world stage. It's like,
We're so rich!
Laughing at us, sister. These 4 Asian. These 4 Asian tigers. Japan. What is this?
I don't know.
Malaysia. And this one? This one, Indonesia. What's this?
I'm not sure of this.
And this one?
Flags.
Flags. Okay, there's a joke there.
someday. For what it's worth though, mining, fishing, and agriculture are strong industries as well. They are currently the world's largest nickel and abaca or Manila hemp producers, and the 2nd largest coconut producer after Indonesia.
Tourism, though, is another important industry, taking up about 8% of their GDP, employing over 3 million people.
And now, food! Now in the Philippines, every region has their own specialty and culinary strange.
Yeah.
This is what we love. Filipinos love food.
Love eating.
Love eating.
Every dish looks like a fairy exploded.
Lots of dishes you could eat kumakain kamay, or eat with your hands.
Yeah, pretty much everything has rice, and then you're gonna get a lot of grease and salt and vinegar and a lot of like, I don't care if that looks like it goes there or not, I'm still gonna eat it anyway. Right, Ken?
Yeah, that's Filipino food.
Yeah.
There's really no official national dish, but 3 meals that are well known for are adobo, lumpia, and sinigang.
And in the non-Muslim parts, lechon is a huge deal.
There are also dishes like
Tagalog steak,
tinola,
pansit luglug,
kare-kare,
sigsig,
tapsilog,
balut,
kinilaw,
and my favorite Filipino dish, palabok. Just put some nice little lemon juice on it. I actually got this at Jollibee. If you don't know what Jollibee is, it's like the most popular fast food chain in the Philippines. It's like if McDonald's and KFC adopted a Filipino
Yeah.
baby.
And you know what? Jollibee is well known international also,
Of
no?
course.
All over the world. There is a
Yes.
branch in the UAE, US,
Canada, Hong Kong,
Hong Kong,
everywhere.
everywhere now.
Where Filipino is, there is a Jollibee.
Jollibee.
And they even added
Because
spaghetti to their
Filipinos
menu
are
for some
jolly.
reason.
Yes, that's why it's called Jollibee.
That's why it's called Jollibee, because Filipinos are jolly.
Otherwise, Filipinos are dessert experts. They love their ube everything, ube ice cream, ube bread, ube pie, ube cakes.
Oh, they also have like
Ube
sapin,
ice
sapin,
cream.
and cassava cake.
Ube cake now is one of Kuya Shan's favorite. Yay! Shout out.
Cakes. Those are the best desserts in my opinion.
They also have halo-halo, leche flan, turon, bukok pandan, and puto. What you call me? If you're either Latin American or Spanish, you may notice some of those foods are also found in Latin cuisines. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll explain that in. Now, only in the Philippines can you find people that have Spanish names, speak English, celebrate
Yes,
in Austronesian culture, and cook Chinese.
General MacArthur once said, "Give me 1,000 Filipino soldiers and I will conquer the world."
Yeah, for some reason, Filipinos are like the best friends of Asia.
What is that? This one?
We'll explain that in. Now, only in the Philippines can you find people that have Spanish names, speak English, celebrate in Austronesian culture, and cook Chinese.
General MacArthur once said, "Give me 1,000 Filipino soldiers
Give me a 10,000 Filipino soldiers and I will conquer the world by General Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur is from America, right? America?
Douglas MacArthur? Spanish siya, di ba?
Spanish ba yan? No.
American.
American. Okay.
Ayan.
and I will conquer the world."
Yeah, for some reason, Filipinos are like the best friends of Asia. Filipinos still have the best attitudes and smiles. They even give time off felony sentences if the prisoners volunteer to take part in a Michael Jackson dance performance.
Oh my God, even the prisoner, they can make
Yes,
their
I
own
watched
dance.
this in Netflix, sister.
Ah, I see.
It's really good.
It's good.
Yes, you have to watch this documentary.
I haven't watched this.
Public.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, the graph. The country has about 110 million people and is the 8th most populated country in
110
Asia
million?
and the 12th most
110 million people and 8th most populated in Asia. 12th most populated in the world.
Oh my.
populated country in the world.
There are about 175 ethno-linguistic people groups in the
Ethno-linguistic people groups.
175.
Philippines, the majority of whose languages are Austronesian.
Of these groups,
What do you mean Austronesians?
Astro nations.
Yeah?
Astro? Astronaut? And then Asian?
What is Austronesians? Who will search in the Google?
the largest ones are
You search in the Google.
No, they will.
the
they will
Tagalog
say.
at about 28%, 13% are Cebuano, 9% are Ilocano, and 8% are Bisaya. The rest are made up of other groups plus a small minority
So 42% pala. Other groups na.
Mhm.
Yeah. 8%. So Cebuano, 13%. So Visaya is different from Cebuano pala.
Bisaya and Cebuano is different.
Yeah. Ilocano.
of non-native citizens, mostly Asians and
Plus a small minority of non-native citizens. So 40%, na? Large of, what is this small minority?
Americans.
It's important to note, though, that the Philippines has about 10.2 million people overseas worldwide. It is
10.2
Wow, 10.2
million.
na. We are included
OFW.
there. OFW.
Yes. Okay.
one of the largest diaspora populations, spanning over 100 countries. The US alone has about 4 million.
I mean, they were at one point colonized by the US, so go figure.
They use the Filipino peso as their currency, they use the types A, B, and C plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road.
Oh, and keep in mind the word Pinoy is synonymous with something that is Filipino. You might see that used a lot.
Now back to the
Yeah, we use a lot this one. Pinoy.
Pinoy.
Pinoy. Here in
Pinoy
UAE,
means
Pinoy
Filipino.
means Filipino.
ethnic groups thing. Since there are over 175 of them, you would think, how do they all communicate?
Well, the Philippines has two official languages. English, which makes them the 5th most English-speaking nation on earth, and Filipino.
We are fifth in the world, most commonly use English na.
Okay.
I wonder who is the number one, of course. United States of
Filipino,
America.
which is the standardized version of Tagalog. The Philippine Tagalog language spoken today is a very different from pure Tagalog. It actually has about 14% Spanish, 10% Malay, and 7% English mixed into it with a slew of other borrowed loanwords. You can see the influence in words like pintelador, guapo, zapatos, and familia. Often Filipinos
Oh my God, sapatos is Spanish word
Spanish.
pala. So what is
Ventilador.
ventilador? What is in Tagalog?
Yung
sapatos.
Saplot sa paa.
will substitute an F with a P.
Or a V
Yeah,
with a
B
Or
with
a
a
V with a
B. Yes.
If it's Filipino, P.
Yeah, same with Koreans, actually. Yeah. High five with minimal consonants.
Yay!
Oh, and fun fact, Ken taught me this. In Tagalog, you can actually say an entire conversation just using the syllable ba. For example,
Ba, ba ba, ba ba, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba ba,
ba, ba 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 ba.
ba ba ba.
Well, that was fun. Otherwise, in the Visayas and Mindanao area, Cebuano is a common language, as well as the other regional tongues like Waray and Daboeno.
They even have the only Spanish-based Creole in Asia, Chavacano, located in Zamboanga City. Now, the Philippines is unique in that
Ilocano is like a Spanish language, no?
Yes.
over a past few centuries, they've gone through 3 periods that shape their identity.
Before European intervention, the Philippines has had a multitude of early civilizations that built kingdoms and dynasties like the Tondo, the Namayan, the Pangasinan, and the Sulu Sultanate.
Many of these kingdoms had their own indigenous writing system, such as the Babayan, Buhid, Eskayan, and Kulitan.
Genetically, Filipinos are classified as belonging to the broader Austronesian people group with their closest
Okay, what do you mean by
Austronesian.
Austronesian. We'll check.
Austronesian. Okay, ask Google what is Austronesian.
Austronesian. What is this?
Austronesian.
Austronesian.
Why you are there?
I don't
Google. Google.
This one na lang. Austronesian. It's like this, right?
Yeah.
Austronesian
Austronesian. Okay.
means
Can you read? Can
Yeah.
you read?
you read. I don't have my reading eyeglass.
Austronesian, relating to or donating a family of languages spoken in an area extending from Madagascar in the west to the Pacific Islands in the east.
Oh.
An Austronesian family of languages.
Oh.
So that means because we have a lot of languages.
Yeah. So that's the meaning of
Austronesian. Austronesian.
cousins being the Micronesians, like the Mariana Islanders, Guam, and Palau.
Although over the years, many people have mixed, and today it is speculated that somewhere around 1/5 or more of the population may have some kind of Chinese ancestry. After the Spanish came in, they adopted many of the customs, traditions, and cultural traits which have Spanish roots. Their own country is named after Spanish King Philip. The biggest trait, though, would be the fact that they are predominantly Catholic, at about 81% of the population adhering to the faith.
The rest are mostly Protestant, with a small Muslim minority in the South Mindanao area.
The Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia, 5th largest Christian nation on earth, and 3rd largest Catholic nation.
Fifth largest nation on earth.
And third largest
Nation.
Catholic nation.
I see. Okay, Brazil. What is that? Okay, the first one is United States, Brazil, Philippines. I can't read that two one.
After Brazil and Mexico.
They have so many holidays and festivals devoted to Catholic themes like All Saints Day, Holy Week, and Easter, and of course, the largest one, Christmas.
The Philippines has the longest Christmas season out of anywhere else on
Yes,
earth.
it's-
Okay, so now we're just gonna rapid fire a list of 12 fun cultural facts for the Philippines.
Filipinos have a ton of superstitions. For example, whistling at night will turn you into a werewolf.
For formal occasions, you may see Filipinos wearing traditional barongs for men and Maria Clara or mestiza dresses for women.
There are many other traditional costumes and customs for the other 170 ethnic groups. Too many to cover, but it goes everywhere from feathers, coconut fibers, hair dresses, tribal tattoos, and so on.
Speaking of which, the Philippines dominates major international beauty pageants with a grand total of
Yeah.
15 victories at the Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth competitions.
Basketball and boxing are the most popular sport by far. They have the oldest basketball league in Asia and the second oldest in the world after the United States. And come on, we all know Pacquiao.
The Philippines is the leading nation to...
What he said, the second
Oldest basketball court.
or I don't know. Wait. Let's hear it.
fibers, hairdresses, tribal tattoos, and so on.
Speaking of which, the Philippines dominates major international beauty pageants with a grand total of 15 victories at the Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth competitions.
Basketball and boxing are the most popular sport by far. They have the oldest basketball league in Asia and the second oldest in the world after the United States. And come on, we all know Pacquiao.
The Philippines is the leading nation to train and export nurses abroad. It's been said at one point, every Filipino has their should I just drop everything and become a nurse moment in their life crisis.
That's a fact. I've had those. And the word balikbayan means returner or returning family. It is used when someone comes back from expat work abroad.
You might hear the honorific title of po or opo for elders, and a lot of people often raise the backs of the hands of
Opo, opo is a sign of respect natin sa mga nakakatanda.
their elders to their forehead as a sign of respect and say bless.
Mano.
Yeah, we are doing like this, guys, with our father, with our grandparents,
With the parents.
with our auntie, uncle.
In the Philippines, you have your name and you have your Pinoy nickname, and they get really weird and creative. Pepsi, Bing Bong, Jelly Boy, Pinky, Bum Bum, and
This
Earl.
one.
Every Filipino on every island in every region can tell you Filipinos are obsessed with karaoke. The first karaoke machine was
It's true.
Karaoke.
Every Filipino house must have microphone.
Oh, yes, and we call it karaoke night. Then we have karaoke bars.
Karaoke bars.
Yeah.
actually patented by a Filipino, Roberto del Rosario, even though some Japanese dude invented it, but he patented it.
Obviously, that means music is a big deal in the Philippines.
Yes.
Besides taking modern cues from American pop, they also have traditional styles. Instruments include things like gudyapi, kilitang, gimbal, kubing, and togali.
In addition, there are many different styles of dance, but the most famous one considered the national dance is tinikling, a dance done between two pairs of perpendicular bamboo poles that are clapped together as percussion tools, and the dancers must weave their feet in and out in the spaces
Oh my
before
God,
getting
that's the hardest part, no?
There's a fire.
There's a fire. You have to.
It's very challenging.
Yeah. Otherwise, you will die there.
or tripped.
Now, on a bit of a more objective note, we do have to talk about some of the controversies.
The Philippines is beautiful, but if you've been keeping up with current events, they do have their fair share of issues that have made headlines. We don't sugarcoat everything here.
Human trafficking, whether in the sex industry, slavery, or organ smuggling, has been a problem in certain areas. And even though anti-trafficking acts have been passed by the government, enforcement has not always been on par.
The drug trade has also been a major inconvenience for decades, affecting millions of people in the country. This has led to the new controversial laws instituted by President Duarte, which encouraged the public to seek bounty in exchange for hunting down drug pushers. Many have died in the process.
And finally, you have the Moro conflict, an insurgency in the predominantly Muslim Mindanao region, which sought to take parts of eastern Malaysia and break away through conflict. The fight has been going on for nearly half a century, and now it's just ending at the turn of the 21st century.
Kind of.
For what it's worth, though, in the Philippines, everyone is family at the end. You don't have to be related to anyone to call someone ate or kuya. There's even a word, bayanihan, which means something like helping one another through community spirit, without expecting.
Yes,
Bayanihan.
bayanihan,
Yeah.
everywhere. Whichever part of the world you are, if you saw a Filipino,
Yeah.
there will be a bayanihan.
Bayanihan.
Anything in return. In any case, we gotta finish off this segment with history.
Austronesians.
Tribal kingdoms and sultanates.
This guy came to the islands.
Catholicism comes in.
Lapu-Lapu and Magellan dies in battle.
5 Spanish dudes followed through.
They finally become a colony of Spain.
The galleon trade.
British Philippines.
And then back to Spain. The Treaty of Paris.
Philippine Revolution.
The Spanish-American War.
First Philippine Republic. Philippine-American War.
American occupation.
World War II, Japan invades.
American pushes them back.
Finally, Philippine independence.
Ferdinand Marcos turned from president to dictator.
Martial law.
This guy gets killed because he was against the regime.
People Power Revolution in 1986.
Growth from agricultural society to an industrial one.
And here we are today. And now we finish off with the notable famous people condensed. Some famous people you guys, the Pinoy geography suggested we mention in this episode include
Lapu-Lapu.
Jose Rizal, these two saints,
Melchora Aquino.
Manuel.
Melchora.
It's Melchora.
Yeah, it's Melchora. Oh my God, they're talking so fast, sister.
Exactly.
They are so good.
Al Quezon,
Lacan Dula. Josefa Yanes Escoda. And Vicente Lim.
Carlos Peña Romulo.
And all the Miss Universe winners. And there's a ton of Americans with Filipino or partial Filipino descent.
Yeah, you can see there's lots of American Filipinos.
Who has Filipino
Blood.
blood?
Yes.
Let's go back to that now.
Andula, Josefa Yanes Escoda, and Vicente Lim.
Carlos Peña Romulo.
And all the Miss Universe winners.
This is
Gloria
Gloria
Diaz.
Diaz. This is
Margie.
Moran.
Yeah.
And
Pia.
Pia Wurzbach and
Catriona. Catriona.
Catriona.
And there's a ton of Americans with Filipino
Oh, Enrique Iglesias, Batista.
Bautista.
Ah, this one, Dave Bautista, but they call him Batista.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one, Bruno
Bruno
Mars.
Mars.
Oh,
Apple de App.
Apple de App and Jasmine Trias.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa
Huggins.
Huggins. I'm not familiar with Vanessa Huggins. You're familiar with her, no?
Not sure.
or partial Filipino descent.
Yeah, you can see there's lots of American Filipinos. Those two get along pretty tight.
We'll explain more on how that happened in... Because of the long history in the Philippines being colonized by two major Western powerhouses, it would make sense that it would have ties with the outside world in many different ways.
For friends, the Philippines is generally close with all the ASEAN nations and does great business with them, particularly Indonesia and Malaysia, their closest neighbors.
The Marshall Islands, Palau, and the federal states of Micronesia are all cousin countries, many of which have Filipino migrants in them, and they all share the same history of being former US territories and US influenced states.
Of course, Spain will always be in the back of their minds as the former colonizer that they gained much influence from. Although Filipinos are not considered Latino, the Spanish and many Latin Americans kind of see them as like the adopted Asians that totally fit in their family. It's like, come on, you're Catholic, you eat flan, every fifth word you speak is Spanish, you're basically one of us.
Interestingly enough, the relationship with Mexico has historically been always strong. The Philippines was ruled under
Our relationship with Mexico.
a Mexico-based viceroyalty of New Spain. The Manila galleons were Spanish trading ships, which for 2.5 centuries linked the Philippines with Mexico across the Pacific Ocean, making 1 or 2 round-trip voyages per year between the ports of Acapulco and Manila. And Mexican traditions were brought in, like the Day of the Dead and Champorado.
When it comes to their best friends, however, most Filipinos
Now we are refreshed with the history of the Philippines na.
Correct.
Yeah? Because we don't know na.
would probably say,
It's
even though
history
colonial years were a little bit bumpy, ultimately the USA and South Korea.
South Korea was one of their closest best friends from the 20th century on. World War II really bonded with them after the Japanese occupation years, and they supported each other diplomatically.
Koreans are the top #1 tourist demographic that visit the Philippines. Koreans kind of admire the fact that even though they were both influenced by the US, Filipinos speak better English, whereas Filipinos practically obsess over Korean products and media.
Us!
That's why we're...
For the USA, ties were close ever since they became their colony in 1898. The US also had the largest number of overseas Filipinos at over 4 million, most of whom live on the West Coast states
In
like
the US, 4 million
4
na?
million Filipinos.
Filipinos, oh my goodness.
But USA is so big.
Yeah, because before during our parents' time,
Mm.
they call it American Dream.
Yes.
Yes, right. That's why there is a lot of Filipino in the US.
Hawaii and California. They are one of the oldest Asian partners of the US. They have a mutual defense treaty, and they are the largest export partner and second largest import after China.
American pop culture dominates much of the youth influence. Hollywood studios love filming there, and Gallup polls have shown that the USA is favored on average by over 90% of the people asked, making it one of the most pro-American countries on the planet. And Ken, you take the conclusion.
In conclusion, if you enter a room full of Asians, you definitely know who the Filipinos are. While everyone's so uptight, we're the ones singing karaoke and somersaulting. You could just feel the energy of a Filipino. There's a touch of Latin flavor with American pop undertones. But in the end, no matter what island, you're immediately considered part of the Pinoy family.
Ken, you're one of my best friends. I love you, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Stay tuned. Poland is coming up next.
Oh. Credits. Caleb's, si Ken pala ang
Half
co-host
Filipino.
niya, Ken O'Donnell.
Yes.
He's a half Filipino and American, malamang. No?
Yes.
Thanks to patrons. Okay, they have member. These are the members.
Okay.
Geography. Now is an educational change that aims to cover informational. What do you call this one? Can you read?
No. Too small.
Research. CIA World Fact Book. I thought it's Facebook.
Fact.
HDI Index Report. World Bank. So,
WHO.
yeah, so this is reliable source na. Thanks for watching. Support GN on Patreon.
If you don't know anything about age,
Now, it's done, guys.
This video is so refreshing.
Because it's in our subject before it's history. Now it's history. Now we were refreshed by this video. Thank you so much to Ken and
Asia, the Philippines is like the jolliest of them all. They're just happy, fun, jolly people. And
You know what? It's
It's
been 3 years. I'm not taking this anymore. I've been pushed around, I've been
that's
threatened,
one. I
I've been
like it
thrown in the
also.
dungeon, I've
Which
been the
is
butt
true.
of all the jokes.
It's really
I'm
true.
the Filipino one. This is my time.
My time!
This is a lot.
Ah!
I like the editing. Oh, it will show
Welcome
there what's
to the Philippines.
name of this
My
episode.
turn.
okay.
It's time to learn geography.
Now!
Hey everyone, I'm Ken, and
So,
Paul.
Ken and Paul, aka Barbie. Baka siya yung famous na Barbie. I know. There is
The spelling is
different na. It's
B-A-R-B-Y.
different. It's not Barbie. It's not Barbie.
It's Ken,
B-A-R-B-I.
yung boyfriend ni Barbie, si Ken.
Barbie. Si Ken.
Kaya siguro, kasi si Ken, tapos siya.
Siya, kaya nga. Okay, guys. Ayun, no? May masasabi ba tayo dito sa ating bansang Pilipinas?
Nasabi na nila lahat.
Nasabi na
ng
nilang
magagandang
lahat ang magaganda.
lugar, lahat ng magagandang traits ng mga
ng
Pilipino.
mga Pilipino. Yes.
Very hospitable, alam natin yan.
At jolly.
Helpful,
helpful.
matulungin.
Yan. Kaya nga, meron tayong tinatawag na bayanihan.
Bayanihan,
Yan.
o diba?
Commonly known.
Which is sana ipagpatuloy talaga.
Tama.
Oo.
Mm.
Kilalang-kilala talaga tayo dyan. At syempre sa pagiging, laging nakangiti.
Nakangiti. Kahit na bumagsak na ang buong mundo sa atin, nakangiti pa rin.
Ilang
Nakukuha
bagyo
pa rin.
pang dumaan kada taon, nakangiti
Nakangiti pa din. Yun talaga ang magandang traits ng mga Pilipino.
Mm.
Kaya dito sa UAE, bilib na bilib sila sa mga Pilipino. Kahit daw napakalaki na ng problema, nakakangiti pa rin. Samantalang sila gusto na magpakamatay.
Because we
Nakasimangot na
believe
lagi.
that there is always hope.
Hope. Yeah.
'Di ba?
As long as you're alive, there is hope.
Yes.
Ayun, no? Guys, I hope you like our reaction for today. Okay, guys? And you will enjoy our reaction for today. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Chump Mom.
And of course, Awesome Joe TV.
And share, guys, and
Share.
comment down below and share some love in the comment section, guys. Don't forget.
Yes.
Spread love and positivity. And turn on your notification bell so you'll be updated whenever we upload a new video, guys. And thank you for all your support, guys, all over the world. Okay, see you on our next video, guys. God bless. Take care, everyone.
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat.